Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and in this follow along, we're going to take a look at doing some replication, cross region, same site, or same region replication. They're pretty much the same thing. It's just depending on where you want to point it to. So we have our repository open as per usual. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create a new folder in here. I'm just going to call this region, or we'll just call this replication, and we'll create ourselves a README file. And as per usual, we'll go ahead and create ourselves a new bucket. So we'll say create an S3 bucket. So it'll be AWS S3 make bucket S3 // replication fun AB for my initials and some numbers here. We'll go ahead and create this bucket if copy and paste wants to work for me here today. There we go. So we have our bucket. The next thing we'll want to do is set up replication on it. So we'll go ahead and type in AWS S3 API CLI, make our way over to that documentation there. And in here, there should be something for replication. I'm just going to search for replication. There we go, found it. Let's go down below to the example. We should have a full example here. We'll go ahead and copy this. And we'll say turn on replication. I guess the other thing is that we're going to need a destination bucket, right? So I'm going to go make another one here. And maybe what we should do is specify a different region. Again, if it's same or different, it should work the same way. But I'm going to go ahead and just say region US East 1. And this will be US East bucket here. And we'll go ahead and create this one. And so hopefully that is in another region. Let's go take a look. Just to confirm, we'll give this a refresh. And so this one is in Canada Central. This one is in US East 1. So that looks like it's working as expected. So yeah, we're going to want to have to turn on replication here. There's a few rules we're supposed to apply. We need to have versioning turned on in both the source and destination bucket. So that is going to be the first thing that we're going to want to do. So before we turn on replication, let's say turn on S3 versioning for both buckets. So we'll go all the way back up to here to the top. I'm going to go to version 2, S3 API. We're going to look for versioning. And we'll say put bucket versioning. Go to examples. We'll copy this here. And I'll paste this here. That's 1. That is 2. This will be for the first bucket. And then this will be for the second bucket. And we will copy this. Press enter, copy this and press enter. And so now they're both turned on. And now we can set up replication. So I only want to replicate from one bucket to another bucket. I go and place that there. We're going to need this replication JSON file. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to make that file there. Try that again, new file. And there it is. Let's go ahead and copy the contents. I'll have to click back here. I want replication, examples. We'll grab this example here. The destination bucket must have versioning turned on. We've done that, so that's okay. And here it's specifying an S3 replication role. So I would think that we'd have to create one here. Then we have status enabled, priority, delete marker replication disabled, filter, so basically go on everything, and then the destination bucket. So this one's going to run on this one, and then the destination bucket is going to be US East 1. So we'll go ahead and go over here. But my question will really be this policy here that we need, or this role. I don't think that already exists by default. I'm going to go over to IAM and take a look and see what we have. Sometimes AWS provides us managed roles. I don't think there's one for this. Let's take a look here, replication. I don't have anything here. So we're definitely going to have to create a role. Oh, here's the role permissions. So they have it right here, and that's the trust policy. We can click through and just create it here. We really should use the CLI and do it that way. So we'll go ahead and say create role and policy for S3 replication. And we have these two objects, so this will be the permissions. So we can go here and say file, new, file, new. This is one's going to be policy.json. and I'll paste the contents there. And then this one down here will be the trust relationship. So I'll make a new file here and just say trust JSON. And we'll paste that on in here. So this one's pretty straightforward for for this policy. We need to swap out a few things. This is going to apply to the source bucket, and it needs permissions to the other ones. Oh, they list 1, 1, 2, 2. So 1, 1 must be the source bucket. Let's hope that's the case. And 2 must be the other one. So go ahead and grab this. I wish they'd write like source and destination, not just 1 and 2. It'd be a little bit less confusing. But that didn't really copy correctly. We'll go ahead and copy again. We'll try this again here. It's really finicky, the copy paste. See, I don't even know if I got that wrong now. We're gonna have to go back and check. Hold on here. This has 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we'll try this again. Just gonna take that off there and say S3, 1, 2, 3, and then paste this in. Normally I work on MacVim. I don't work in Visual Studio Code. I don't have any of these problems, but when I'm doing these tutorials with you, it looks like I'm struggling a lot more than I actually would normally. So go ahead and copy this. We'll paste this down below here and put the / on it and take that one out. This one is very similar. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one here quickly. And then I'm going to go back over here and we'll grab this one. Then we have to carefully select like this and paste this in. Notice that it has an asterisk there on the end, so we'll grab that. Resource. Put this in parentheses there, good. And let me just go double check and make sure that's right. So this one also has that as well. So I just want to make sure I did not make that mistake by leaving it out. Good. So we have our policy. We need to go ahead and create this. So I'm going to go back here and let's go look up that command. So we'll go to AWS here and I'm going to look for IAM. And we need to create ourselves a policy first. So we'll go ahead and create a policy. We'll go down to examples. And here's one. We'll paste that in here. This will be, what did we call this? This is S3 replication example. And this file is called policy JSON. Just gonna put that on one line so it's a little bit easier. I'm gonna make sure I cd into that replication directory. I'm just type clear here. And so this should create that policy. Hopefully there's no issue with our policy JSON. It looks like it created, so that's fine. It also gave us back the policy ID and ARN. We might need those. So I'm just gonna copy those really quickly out of there and paste this here. Your ARN is obviously gonna be different than mine ARN. Let's go take a look at the role now. So we'll have create role and we'll go over here. We'll go down to examples. We'll copy this and we will paste this here. And so we have, what were we calling the role over in our replication? It was this. So I'll go back over here and we're going to paste that name here. We need to specify our trust policy. So I'll type in trust here. This isn't attaching anything. So that might create the role, but then we need to actually attach the policy. So that'll be a separate command, I think. So we'll go ahead and paste this in here. And that created. I'm going to, again, copy this because I just assumed that we're going to need both those values in a second here. If it's just name, that'd be really nice. So we need to attach the policy. So I'm going to see if that is a command. Attach role policy. So this seems like what we'd want. That looks like what we want. Yep. And so we'll go down here below and paste it in. So we have our policy ARN. Told you we need that. So we'll go ahead and grab that here. remember, if you're following along, you cannot just copy paste my example because I'm going to have different values here, right? And then it just wants the role name. So go ahead and grab that. And we'll paste that in there. And so that should attach it. I'm going to keep this ARN around because we're going to need it in just a second. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to go attach this. There we go. And so that should now be attached. I'm going to go ahead and copy this full ARN and go back over here and paste it in because this doesn't have a real account number. And now we have our real one in here. Just to double check, I'm going to make sure that this all worked out correctly. And I'm just going to clear this out, give this a refresh. We're going to type in replication, and we're going to double check to make sure our permissions are what we think they are. So here they are. That looks good. Trust relationship. That looks good. We are in good shape. I'm going to go back over to here, just delete out this here. And so now, in theory, we should be able to put bucket replication on. So we'll hit enter, and that is turned on. Let's go take a look at our bucket and see if it actually is turned on. So we'll go over to S3. And we will check our source bucket for replication. So that would be this one here. And we'll go to properties. And I'm looking for those replication rules. Permissions. No. Management. Here we go. So we have a replication rule. Okay. We could have gone ahead and created it here. And this gives you an idea of the options that you can choose. You can see we have those additional replication options, which we talked about in the lecture content. But we'll go back over to here and take a look. And so we can see where it's replicating to, its destination region. So we know that our configuration worked because if it didn't, it wouldn't show all this information, right? And, you know, the only way it's across region or a same region is basically just where you point the bucket. Notice we didn't have to specify the region anywhere, it just picked it up. If we click here, it shows us more of the information. Let's go take a look if it works. So what we'll need to do is place an object into this one here and see what happens. So create a file and upload to our bucket. So we'll go ahead and do that. This will be copy. We'll say hello txt, hello txt. We'll type in echo hello world, and then we'll pipe it over here and say hello.txt. I'm going to type in clear down below, and we're going to go ahead and paste this in, and we're going to go ahead and paste this in. So the idea is that replication should occur now. How fast it occurs, I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we check the bucket. Let's go check. We'll say check destination bucket to see if replication worked. So we'll go ahead and grab this one up here, and we'll just say AWS S3 LS, and we'll list that out and see if it worked. Because this is our destination bucket, right? We'll hit enter, and it has been replicated. So there you go. It's as easy as that to set up replication. If you want to do it both ways, you set up replication rules in both directions. But let's go ahead and just clean up now that we're done. So I guess the question is, if we delete a file, will it delete on both sides? That would be interesting to know, right? The other thing is that we can do batch replication. Now, we do batch operations in another video, so I don't feel like we need to show that here. But yeah, let's see what happens if we delete the file. So I'm going to go here and remember, it's one way. So if we delete the file in the source one, I wonder if it will delete in both. So we'll say AWS S3 remove, and then we'll put this here. Okay, so go ahead and we'll paste this in here. We'll hit enter. And then we will go and take a look and see if it happened in both directions. It didn't. So understand that we created in one place, replicated the other place, and then it didn't delete. So could we change that in our replication rules? Not 100% sure. Delete marker replication. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but at least we know replication means to copy as opposed to just delete as well. But let's see if we can clean up our buckets here. So I also want to delete from our source bucket as well. So there's this one, not source, but our destination bucket. This one's gonna be S3 remove hello.txt. We do have versioning turned on, so hopefully we can still get rid of these buckets easily if we delete them. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to delete these buckets. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit enter. The bucket you tried to delete is not empty. You must delete all versions in the bucket. Ugh. That is not fun to do. We'll go over to our bucket here, and let's see if we can just empty it, because that would make my life so much easier if we can just empty it out. Empty the bucket. Okay, I didn't read that message, but I'm going to assume that it's going to empty out all versions too. Delete. Delete. We'll go back over to here. Empty. We'll delete it here. And then we'll go back here and we'll go ahead and delete. Okay, and so now it's all cleaned up. You know, you should delete the buckets, empty and delete the buckets. Easiest way to clear all versions. So there you go. That is replication, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao.